There's honestly no better feeling than when the likes of Liverpool, Man City, and Tottenham all lose games within the same match week. But even when United are handed a literal golden ticket to climb up the table, they just cannot do it. And even when Everton are having a civil war on the pitch, United still have to make things difficult for themselves, and we really need to talk about this. That was absolutely abysmal. That was such a poor performance, honestly such a poor display to give to the faithful at Old Trafford against a 10-man Everton for majority of the game. Being down to 10 men left me so frustrated that we couldn't capitalize on any of the chances that we created. I'm sure you guys are just as frustrated as I am, and Ruben Amorim is, I don't even know how he's feeling, but this is what he said after the game.
I think they were the better team with 11. They defended really well with 10 men, 70 minutes. I think we deserve to lose. We didn't play well. We didn't play with the right intensity. And that's it.
Now, pretty much all of the sequences that I want to show you guys occur in the second half. A half where we should have absolutely killed, slaughtered Everton. Technically we did. We had all of the possession. We created all of the chances virtually. But for some reason, we just could not put the ball into the back of the net. Now, I want to talk about something that Ruben Amorim briefly mentioned a few seconds ago, and that's the fact that Everton played better with 11 and they played better with 10. The issue that I have with Manchester United is you don't know what to expect. You don't know which United is going to turn up on a game-by-game basis. Ruben Amorim himself said that a couple of months ago when the club was going through just a shaky patch. It seems like we're always going through a shaky stretch, but after going 5 unbeaten, it looked like things were starting to turn. But honestly, like we saw in this game, the players reverted back to factory default settings, and it just looks so distasteful when the players don't look like they really care, when it doesn't seem like they want to actually move. How I knew this was going to be a long day from the very beginning, it only took 6 minutes for me to recognize how Manchester United players were not on the same wavelength. Here in this sequence that I'm going to show you is Manchester United's press. 6 minutes in, mind you, 6 minutes in. And all it takes is one body feint for Idrissa Gana Gueye to have acres of space to stroll into. Casemiro will never engage. He's going to drop off, which means United are going to drop off, which means we're inviting pressure. And all it takes from Ghana up until this point to reach the halfway line is to play one ball, and we are completely taken out of the game. When I saw that, that let me know right away the players are not on the same wavelength, and it's going to take them a little bit of time to warm up and get into this game. That's a huge issue. That's so bad. You can say whatever you want about Amorim and the way that he set the players up, but their mentality stinks. It really does stink. And the only reason why I say this is because when it comes to having a good mentality, you want to have that consistently throughout the entire season. This team isn't good enough to win every single game, okay? And I think we can honestly accept that and understand that. But we want to see the players go out and give everything every single game. And when we see performances like this, it just, like I said, it puts such a bad taste in your mouth. This was a game where we clearly needed someone like Matheus Cunha. Him not being available, seeing that alert about an hour before the game kicked off, my heart dropped. Not being dramatic or anything like that, but that literally told me we were going to struggle. Because Cunha is one of those players that in a game like this, where teams will sit back, where teams will let us have possession, where teams will let us have majority of the ball and majority of the chances, Cunha is that one player that will go outside of the confines of the tactical system and just completely throw everything for a loop. Today, we didn't have that. Today, we had way too much of players trying to do the same thing, occupy the same positions, and it just didn't work for the most part. We had opportunities to score. We didn't take it. Story of our lives. And I'm going to show you a couple of things now that kind of prove that we were the reason. We were the reason. It's not that Everton were outplaying us. Everton sat back and just defended basics of football, just like Grimsby did. The same thing. But there were just times where we, like I said, were occupying the same positions. We were not being dynamic enough. We were being too predictable. Let me show you now. A lot of the discourse that I've seen on social media, YouTube, just basically general reaction after the game was, this dude Amorim will not change from this back three. He will not change from the back three. My thing is, if Amorim doesn't change from the formation, that's fine. It's how the players work within the system, and it's how he sets them up. This is just one of many different sequences that I'm going to show you of Luke Shaw completely ignoring his left center back role to go and act as a traditional fullback. to get high up the pitch, to give us width. There were moments in this game where it worked, where Luke Shaw was able to get down the line and put in a cross, where Luke Shaw was able to get into a good favorable position to create space for other people. But a lot of the times it didn't work because too many players were just occupying the same space, or simply put, we were trying to attack Everton through the middle of the pitch when all of the space was out wide. As soon as Everton went down to 10 men, and I'm talking about the second they went down to 10 men, David Moyes instructed them to play in a deep, narrow shape and be as compact as possible and not allow us to go through the middle. What did Manchester United continuously do time and time and time again? Try and play through the middle, or play the ball out wide and cut inside and try and cross it into the middle, instead of simply just having somebody be a willing runner to create that space on the overlap and to stretch Everton thin. We just didn't do this. We didn't do this the entire second half. We tried to force our way into the middle of the pitch. And how I know this is we kept spamming crosses, cross after cross after cross. We don't do this when Šeško's here, but we do this when Xerxes here, when Xerxes cannot really do that job. You know, I don't want to go too deep individually. I think everybody collectively was just poor. Even Amorim made his mistakes again. And I hold my hand up and say it wasn't a good performance by the players. It wasn't a good outing from Amorim. But at the end of the day, we have to be better. We have to be better. Simple as. We have to stop conceding silly goals. It's just the same narrative over and over and over. We need to start taking our chances. I mean, this is ridiculous. We had chances in this game. Don't be twisted. It wasn't a whole second half of Manchester United just passing sideways. We created opportunities. Bruno Fernandes had an excellent opportunity off the back of brilliant vision from De Ligt, an excellent run from Mason Mount. The willing runners in behind into the space, it was there. The entire game, the space was there. And we didn't exploit it. We just didn't exploit it. Even Mbeumo had a great chance. Pickford was making excellent saves. But the more and more Pickford makes the save, the more hype Pickford gets. And the more we get dejected, the more we get frustrated. And it was just only a matter of time, literally until the final whistle, where you knew Manchester United wasn't going to get that goal because we were just not doing enough. The urgency wasn't there. And it's frustrating. You can create all these chances how you like, but if you can't defend, if you cannot stop the ball from going into your net, what's the point? Everton had one shot on target, two maybe at best this entire game. And one of them was a long shot from outside the box that we just gave to them pretty much. Poor concentration. Not enough fight to try and win the ball back off Dewsbury-Hall. I mean, these are the frustrating things that I know you guys see because I'm seeing them. I know you guys see it. And I know you're questioning and thinking to yourself, how can Amorim not see this? Trust me, I'm sure he does. He sees it. But then the players go on the pitch and they do what they do, and it's frustrating. He didn't help himself at all today with his starting 11, starting Masraoui at right wing back. I don't know how many times he's going to do this to himself, knowing that Masraoui is just not built to be a wing back. Left or right, it just doesn't work. Him and Dalot are traditional fullbacks. So trying to change that part of them, it's just never going to work. It's never going to work. And honestly, bringing on Dalot, why? What's the point? What's the point? You know Everton aren't going to attack. They didn't have it. Literally after the 70th minute, they were just defending for their lives. Why bring on Dalot? Why not bring on Shea Lacey, somebody who's energetic, somebody who we haven't seen yet, somebody who can just be a difference maker? You know, that side of the game, Amorim is completely at fault. That didn't make sense to me. But it's a collective thing at the end of the day. It's frustrating to see the way that we play against teams that like to sit back, that like to give us the ball, because in these situations, we should absolutely be killing them. We should be turning them over. We should. This game was there. And I'm not saying that we deserved anything from this game because quite honestly, it was a situation where Everton got their goal and they defended valiantly. They were down to 10 men. It was on them to defend their lead, and they did that. But it's frustrating when we go on this 5-game unbeaten run and we're beating teams that honestly we shouldn't be beating based off our recent form in the past year. We beat them, and then we play against a team like Everton who really offered nothing, and yet we still can't find a way through. Kudos to Everton. Kudos to David Moyes. They came and they executed their game plan. This game reminds me a lot of the Grimsby game. Just because It isn't like the tactics don't matter in games like this. You can't do the basics right, you're not winning. And I think that was just another case of just poor professionalism, poor mentality. Everything just wasn't hitting for Manchester United in this game. Even here, a situation like this frustrated me to no end. Having Mbeumo and Amat on the right-hand side is supposed to be devastating. It's supposed to be absolutely terrorizing for any opposition to try and handle. But in this game, they proved why. There are some matches that they should not be playing on the same side. They both like to occupy the same space. They both like to make the same motions. I'm going to show you right now. This is a sequence, a situation, where one of them has to hold their width while the other one ventures inside. It'll pull defenders away and create the space. But no, guess what they do in this position? They both run into the same space. Not one of them keeps their width, so we have to go ahead and switch it to the other side. But guess what? The ball comes right back to the right-hand side. It comes right back to Mbeumo. And even from this position, nobody is making the run into the space to create for him to cut on the inside. So it doesn't take anything for Jack Grealish to literally just walk. And now it's a 2v1. Now we cannot create down that side, and we're stuck in the same repetitive cycle. Honestly, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I always keep myself level-headed as much as I can. This game frustrated me, I'll be honest. And I know it frustrated you guys. I want to know your honest thoughts. Is this on Amorim? Is this on the players? Is it the collective? Are you done with Amorim? I mean, I'm seeing a lot of discourse on Twitter, and of course, this is natural. It's Manchester United. If we win 5 games in a row, it's like, oh, well, the other teams weren't that great. The second we lose a game, it's pandemonium. So I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, as always. Hope to catch you on the next one. God bless. Peace.